How about them Irish?
I can't take it anymore. I need a national championship.
This is the Four Horsemen Podcast.
And we are back. Season 8 of the Four Horsemen Podcast. I'm Dylan, as always, joined by Steve. And we got a new face on the podcast this week. You guys remember him. In fact, many of you know him. Some of you love him. Esteemed Timothy Flynn. How are you doing today, bud?
Some of you don't love me. I'm doing great.
For those of you who have no idea who Tim is, he's the very famous guy who starred at the Florida State chant. Tim, do you want to just give us a little rendition?
Bum 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 bum. When they finish, 1 and 11, 1 and 11, 1 and 11, 1 and 11.
I think technically 2 and 10, but we love you nonetheless.
Oh, they did get one? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good for
that
them.
was so. Tim and I went to the Florida State Notre Dame game together, and Tim, you got pretty drunk. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we got to a point in the game because Notre Dame won by about 1.5 million points, and we got to the point where Tim is just doing, because at the time they were like 2 and 6 or 1 and 6 or whatever it
1
was.
and 9.
1 and 9, and you were doing the 1 and 9, and it didn't annoy anybody.
There were some Florida State fans in front of us that left really quick.
That's right. Well, hey, it's good to have you. Thanks for coming on. Steve, you're still alive, I think.
I was going to say by the grace of God, but I'm not really feeling the grace. But yes, that factual statement, still alive.
You are alive. Okay. We were talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers right before jumping on. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I jumped the shark by talking about this off the podcast. I should probably talk about football on the football podcast. I was just telling Timmy Boy and Dylan that I am absolutely not, under no circumstances, wasting my Sundays on watching the NFL this year. It's the NFL inferior product when we're comparing to college football. Of course, there's better talent, quote unquote, in the NFL. That's not the contention. Obviously, the NFL is better talent. What we're talking about, excitement and buy-in. And way more teams have buy-in in college football, whereas in the NFL, there's only 3 to 4 teams that can actually stand a chance at winning. So right off the top, like, what's that? 85% of the league, 90% of the league, you're not making it. So stop getting your hopes up. And then on top of that, like, I am not putting myself through watching 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers throw 3-yard dink and dunk passes to $30 million DK Metcalf, so that he can have his fucking ACL blown to smithereens, and then my team can win 9 games for like the 32nd consecutive season, and then if they don't make the playoffs, they get the 14th overall pick, or if they do make the playoffs, they get bounced by 17 points, and then they get the 19th overall pick, and then they're going to just pick like a solid offensive lineman or defensive end that's going to play like a 12-year career in the NFL, and he'll be a fine enough piece, but it'll never be something to move the needle. It's never going to be a Jamar Chase. It's never going to be a fucking Joe Burrow, and the Pittsburgh Steelers suck, and I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. I'm not putting myself through that torture on Sundays. Sundays are now for golf. So all of you assholes, you can all go to your Buffalo Wild Wings or your Smoky Bones or your local sports bar, and you can drink your beer and you can eat your wings and you can watch your NFL football on Sundays, have fun with your brunch and your stupid little bullshit, because Steve is going to be out there slamming 300-yard drives and then hitting the next ball out of bounds and then chipping a flub chip and then 2-putt, and then I'm going to have to settle for double bogey. I'm going to want to strangle myself, but at the very least, I'm not watching Aaron Rodgers run my bullshit offense. So that's
Steve,
my full feelings.
I'm going to be a jerk for a minute here and hit 2 people at once. Listen to poor Steve and his Pittsburgh Steeler fandom. They've only won 6 Super Bowls, in which at least one he's been alive for and watched. It could be worse. You could be Tim, who is a Buffalo Bills fan, and I'd like to hear him talk about it in the NFL.
At the very least,
Yeah,
he knows he's one of those 4 teams that has a chance this year.
No, we don't. We're the Bills.
Until they run into the Chiefs.
Listen, there's an ESPN commercial out there. This is SportsCenter or something like that. It just epitomizes Buffalo Bills fandom, where it's like you get hope and glory for a second, then it gets taken away with like a challenge flag or the miracle kick or whatever. Steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line, wide left, whatever. I have no faith in our kicker Bass again this year. I didn't have faith in the last 2 years, so it is what it is. But speaking of bad quarterbacks in the NFL, I'm gonna have to eat my own words here, guys. I was partially right. One time I was on this podcast a while ago, said Riley Leonard can't throw. You have to kind of embrace his qualities. I did say on that same podcast that now that we know he sucks, we're going to do good, and we did. So I want to clear the air, get that out there, and then say I cannot believe he's probably going to be the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts by the time this is all said and done, because letting people just go free willy-nilly and hit your starting injury-prone quarterback is something that the Colts line likes to do. So at least Riley can take a hit.
Not
He'll
Quentin
be there forever.
Nelson. That left
It was
guard
not Quentin.
position
It
was totally locked
the
down.
right
tackle.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all agree, college is better than the NFL, but ultimately we know the CFL is the best of all the football leagues.
It's
One
the
bounce
running.
completions, Riley Leonard would have 100% accuracy. And that's a compliment, because I really do think he could do a good bounce pass. I guarantee he could.
Have you guys ever watched the CFL?
Of course.
Of course you have, Tim. Tim, you're basically Canadian. You're so
I just gotta
close to the
look over
border.
the lake.
I don't even like the CFL. However, I always find it funny when like one of the social media accounts will pick up a crazy into a CFL game, and like Americans don't really know how the game works, which is fair. You shouldn't. It's not a game that you really need to know. However, in the CFL, a ball that's kicked through the end zone counts as 1 point. Okay, Steve, can you comprehend that? Can you wrap your mind?
I was going to say I saw a clip recently where a guy missed a field goal but still got a point and won the game because it was tied.
And won the game. And it's really funny kind of reading comments of Americans just not understanding it, and it's ridiculous. It's a totally ridiculous rule. However, I've seen CFL games end with one team trying to punt the football through the end zone and the other team trying to punt it back out of the end zone so it stays in play, and that's how a game has ended. It's amazing. All right, we should probably get this started here. We're like 5 minutes into it. Fall camp. Pretty exciting. Only 2 severe injuries.
People are falling.
We are
Yes.
precisely 3 weeks away from a ball being kicked in the air in Miami Stadium. Fall camp is here. Boys are fighting for their lives. R.I.P. Kevin Bowman and Keidron Young, both out for the season with injuries. But Dylan, obviously we have a quarterback battle, but if you look up and down the roster, especially with the defensive line, I think there's going to be a lot of moving pieces in the secondary. There's some things to work out, and I don't even know if we have all of our wide receivers down pat in terms of the starting rotation. So, by all means, riff on that. Bring us through the position battles or anything that's stuck out to you so far.
Sure, although I can't get over that you called it Miami Stadium. That's been sticking with me.
Hard Rock, whatever.
Hard garbage.
Tim, are you going to that game, by the way?
No, I'm not ever going back to that stadium. It's so gross. I was at the Orange Bowl. Greatest experience of my life, but when I was going to the bathroom and seeing all 6 urinals, all 6 of them overflowing with urine, I decided that this is not the
Hey,
place
urine
for me.
is sterile, buddy.
Not the guy that I saw.
Well, so camp battle, Steve, we've got, obviously, the offensive line is 1 at the moment. Charles Jagasaw, injured. We don't know when he's back. Who's going to fill that spot? I think Sullivan Absher's been getting some snaps there. There was talk of moving 5-star freshman and Canadian-born Will Black inside to a guard position to get him some playing time. I don't care. We talked about this last time, Steve. I don't care. Not that I don't care about these individuals. I hope they all do great. It's Notre Dame's offensive line, and Joe Rudolph is outrageously good at building an offensive line. Whoever it's going to be is going to be good, and they're going to do a good job. So that's one I'm not overly worried about. It'll be super interesting to see who wins that interior role, and if Anthony Knapp stays as left tackle. I know arm length is a bit of a concern there for some people, but he was a true freshman left tackle last year. Not a bad position to be in. I think defensively, like you hinted at, is going to be where a lot of the the fall camp battles will be, right? You got the defensive line, so many different players there, right on the edge. You got Botello, Traore, Joshua Burnham, Junior Tuihalamaka. And then also you've got Bryce Young. So who's going to get those snaps? Who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the two? There's going to be definitely battles there. On the interior line, Rubio's back. Onye's back. We picked up Jared Dawson, Louisville transfer.
Massive body. We love that. So we'll see. I'm curious to see if any of the young players kind of break through. Linebacker, I think we're kind of set.
We're set.
Just it's an outrageous amount of talent, but we know who's going to be there. We know it's going to be Bowen. We know it's going to be Sneed. We know it's going to be Billy Almasa. We know we have Jaden Osbury in there. And then, who's going to take over the Xavier Watts position? That's going to be something to watch this camp battle. We expected Don Schuler to keep his position that he had in the secondary as a safety. Who's going to be that free safety? A lot of different candidates. You're hearing a lot of names throughout camp. Freshmen, transfers, not freshmen, like former walk-on Luke Tallett, getting a lot of buzz. So, a lot to look forward to. It's just a deep roster, man. It's just a really deep roster. Tim, how are you feeling about it?
Well, we're going to need the depth this year because our schedule's not like last year. It's a little tougher, so hopefully we're not losing Prince of Boo Boo against Purdue like we did last year, because that was a sad day. Sad day, even though we scored the most points Notre Dame's ever scored. Yeah, I think the defense is going to be fantastic. I think the middle of the line, up to Rubio, and without Cross there, it's going to be a little tougher. And Mills, you lost two huge bodies. So next man up kind of mentality, you gotta fill that hole in. But it was kind of telling that not entirely ready, at least last year when they were called upon to fill that role. Hopefully this year they are. Another year of growth, another year of experience. Wide receivers, I would like to throw out this prop bet to you guys. Under/over, will Bettis have more catches in his college career than his dad had in his NFL career, which was 200?
Okay, so you see, he's a middling 4-star, but he's also middling 3-star. He's got a decent sized body, 6'2", I think.
Good genetics.
And of course he has the genetics. I think the reason he's a 3-star, he's got the body and the genetics, but I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to work his way onto the field. He's just not refined and polished. So let's say that he makes his way onto the field as a redshirt sophomore, third year on campus. He probably is going to get rotational looks and snaps as a redshirt sophomore, and then might break onto the starting role junior and senior year. You're probably looking at top end 60 catches a year, junior and senior year. So that's 120 right there. I'm hitting the under, unfortunately, because I would love to see him be extremely successful, obviously.
Yeah, I agree on the under, just because college is weird. He might have 0 in his career, or he might have 1,000. It's who knows. I'll take the under. 200 seems like a really. It would require, I think, at least 2 years of full starting as a dominant target for the team. And if he's that dominant, I don't know if he'll hang around for 2 years. So we'll see.
Facts. Also, always bet the under when it comes to the Notre Dame wide receivers until proven otherwise.
That's a
also
fair point.
Facts.
Tim, you said you were really excited about the defense. Does the defensive coordinator issue, the fact that it's a new one, Does that bother you at all? Do you think we have to wait and see?
No, because it's just handing off the reins. Like, there will be changes, but for the most part, the core is still going to be the core. Marcus Freeman didn't tinker with the defense too much when he came in either. Neither did Al Golden, and now it's going to be what's his name?
Chris Ash.
Chris Ash, yeah. I want to say Craig for some reason, but yeah, Chris Ash. He's just going to have this. He's going to have his own flavor and flair, but the menu is going to be the same. He might change an item or two on there, but it's going to be same thing. The one thing I hope he doesn't do is call a safety blitz against Ohio State, because that seems to not work.
Which time? Yeah, I was going to say, which time now? I remember the one at the shoe many years ago. That was the one time they blitzed.
Tyler Buchner was our starter.
That's crazy. Tyler Buchner is our third quarterback right now. Which
he might
I
win
love
starting
that for
job.
us, by the way.
Fourth.
Well, they're fighting for it. Him and Blake Hebert, I think, the true freshman, also from Canada. Will I do that every time we mention these players' names for the next 4 years? Yes, I will.
Yes.
Sorry, Tim. You also talked about filling holes. Do you have any expertise on that and what can be done?
Yeah, phrasing. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
How do you fill holes?
Professionally. Well, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm just gonna plead the fifth here. I know you're talking about football, but I'm not thinking about football when you say that, so I can't answer it.
Dr. Abby would know how to fill holes. Let's tweet at us, Dr. Abby.
All right, so just going like position by position. In regards to the wide receiver position, of course, Malachi Fields, he's an expected starter. And then you got Greathouse, an expected starter. Does Greathouse go to the field or boundary, or does he move inside naturally? That's something that I'm really curious about of what's going to end up, because he's only 6'6'1". Same with Faison. They have kind of that similar body about 6'6'1", and somewhere around like 190 to like 200 pounds, so on and so forth. So they're both quick sons of guns. Actually, Faison is 5'10", and Greathouse is 6'1" here. So just to give that dichotomy.
When it comes to Greathouse, Steve, if you ask, is he going to play this position? Just the answer is always yes. He's going to play everywhere. I think you're going to see him line up inside, outside, field boundary.
He is a utility knife. He is definitely a utility knife, and he can be utilized a lot. But if I were developing or hand sculpting my perfect team, I like guys on the outside to be at least 6'3". You want some length that can go up and beat a corner.
Your boundary receiver is going to be Malachi Fields. I don't think there's a debate about that this year. Mm-hmm. He's coming in with at least 2 productive years as a starter, and I think he started for 3. So there should be no issues with him coming in as a boundary receiver. If there's no production there, that's an us issue. Greathouse is probably going to play the field, I would imagine, because I think you want Faison in the slot.
And
I want them both in the slot.
Well, Will Pauling as well. And you're going to see, I think, a lot of rotation. Plus, does Cam Williams break through? We're hearing good things about him. What about Micah Gilbert, who had a great season last year in camp? So one thing Mike Denbrock likes to do is the slot fade. It's one of my favorite plays in the video game as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think Jordan Faison can be your slot fade all year. I think he has that ability. I'd like to see
even
him play that.
Greathouse. I mean, Greathouse his second touchdown against Ohio State was a slot fade.
He's so good, and I think it's just about getting him somewhere on the field. I think he can do it all. Is kind of where I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Which wide receiver threw that 2-point conversion pass? Was that Greathouse or was that Faison?
It was Faison.
It was okay. So he can throw it too.
My memory's blacked out. I have no idea. I forgot that.
Yeah, I remember the good.
But I mean, that's the wide receiver position. Offensive line, like you mentioned, Dylan. Like we can speculate who's going to be the starters, who's going to shake everything up. At the end of the day, everyone's really young, everyone's really hungry, and we know what we're going to get. It's going to be quality, especially a step up from last year. And last year we had low expectations, but they superseded them. They exceeded them, more accurately. On the defensive line, I'm comfortable on the edges. Bothello, he's he's a madman out there. That guy he's got a high motor. Of course, you also have On the edges, Boubacar Traore, Junior Tui Halamaka, Bryce Young, massive body, 6'7". I would love to see where Brennan Vernon is going to fit onto this program. He's a redshirt sophomore, third year on campus. He's 6'6". He was really recruited. He was really highly touted. At the time that he signed with us, he was a 5-star, and then things kind of shook out that he ended up being a highly ranked 4-star. Hasn't made his way on yet. Logan Thomas, very, very slim. He's only about 220 pounds, but 6'4". He's a speed rusher off the edge. I think off the edge, we're going to be pretty strong, and I think we're going to have a better attack of opposing quarterbacks and a better pass rush than the previous years. But where we got gashed in the national championship game, and where I have some reservation and some question marks, is on the interior, of course. But I'm really excited about Jared Dawson. He's massive, 6'1". He's coming in at about 300 pounds. Same with Armel Mukam. That's a name. He's a Canadian boy for you, Dylan.
He is.
He's 6'3", over 300 pounds. And you also have,
Sean
Cigliano. Yep, Sean Cigliano. He's
also Canadian.
He's pushing 350. Jason Onyé, 6'5", over 300 pounds. So we have the size, like we have the the Joes, but we have the Jimmies and Joes, but do the X's and O's kind of match up? Are we able to rotate and be healthy and be fresh? And I think that is the ultimate lesson to be learned from the national championship run last year. Is it's no longer acceptable to be good with your top line starters. Your backup has to be good enough where he could come in and fill in at not just Notre Dame, but basically any of the top 5 to 10 programs in the country. You need backups that could be starters at Tennessee, at South Carolina. You need backups that could be starters at Florida or USC or even Michigan, or like that. That's the depth that the new 15, 16 game schedule is going to require, as we did see. So is there any depth issues that you can foresee, especially I think we're good on secondary, but on that front seven, because linebacker is also looking a little weak in regards to depth.
So first I want to say, like, we showed that we have depth in some spots, but we showed we don't have depth in others. Because, like you said, you need backups that can go and start somewhere else. So we had 2 linemen going somewhere else to start that were backups that carried us through the whole gauntlet of a postseason that we had there. So, but then you also have, like, receiver. If we lose 2 or 3 of them, we're probably going to be in trouble. Still no depth there. I think we're okay at linebacker to an extent. Defensive line, again, I don't know who's behind Gabriel Rubio. If he goes down, who's going to step up and take that spot? When we lost Cross and Mills, that was kind of it.
Do you think Rubio and Onyé are playing together, or one backs up the other?
They'll probably rotate, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
I think there should be a bunch of rotation all year long at all of these positions, especially the defensive line.
Yeah, what was it? I was listening to Tim Priester's podcast, and they said that only 2 defensemen had 50 snaps against A&M. Everyone else was under that. So rotating will be big, but you also want someone that can play 50 snaps and stick there, like Xavier Watts was last year.
Yeah, I think they're talented enough. I think some of these guys are unproven. Like, we don't know what Brendan Vernon provides yet. But he might get an opportunity and turn out to be really, really, really good. So it's hard to evaluate depth right now. The wide receiver room, I think that's another one where we got 4 guys. I think we're clearly in a group of 4 that'll be playing all the time. But I don't know if there's an injury or two and Cam Williams steps up, if that's too crazy to think as a possibility. What do you think of that?
Entirely reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I also wanted to say, I know a little off topic, but same topic. It's going to be real cool on defense that we're actually going to play zone once or twice this year. So, little more zone. I think that'll definitely help Christian Gray. as well as the other defensive backs catch their breath rather than playing man every snap, and mixing and disguising those coverages like we did against Penn State. I think we'll see more of that, and I'm looking forward to that.
Okay,
I think that'll
I have
help
a prop
keep
for
people
you
fresh.
guys that I pulled out of my ass right now. I like Christian Gray. For the record, I think he's really good, really underrated, and really clutch. The reason I'm asking this has nothing to do with Christian Gray. Yes or no, Christian Gray is a starting corner for Notre Dame at the end of the season?
Yes.
If he's healthy, yes.
Okay.
But
Because we got some
health
guys
is
behind
obviously
him
the big
that
thing.
are pretty good.
No, Carson Hobbs is making moves. Devonta Smith, the transfer from Alabama, he could make some moves.
Well, he'll
Dallas
be in the
Golden.
slot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Dallas
it's-
Golden and Mark Zachary.
Yes, but it's also the 3-star that nobody thought much of, who happened to go to the same school as Benjamin Morrison, Cree Thomas, that they're saying might be better than all of the corners. That's why I'm just wondering if the DB room is so great that somebody pushes Christian out of a job. Not that, and I rate Christian really
Well,
highly.
You saw that with Jaden Mickey, and we all
Yes.
love Jaden Mickey, so it's possible. But I do think Christian Gray. I talked about this on another podcast that NFL one you set me off to, Dylan, where I said Christian Gray is a fantastic corner. He is a great cornerback. He's just not a lockdown cornerback, to where he's not Benny Mo. He can play man, but he will get beat once in a while. But other than that, he's fantastic. Like,
Mentally strong,
so
too. I
just
mean, the way he
understand
bounced
that.
back in the USC
of
game
course.
and the Penn State game, just really fantastic stuff from him. I really like him.
he can make
It's-
huge plays.
It's just more of, and I think he will be, gun to my head. I just think it's an interesting potential storyline is how good is Cree Thomas? How
Yeah,
good are these
and
guys
he will be
behind him?
better this year. Greg was going to be better this year than he was last year because he
Sure,
got a
yeah.
full year of experience and going against iron sharpens iron, steel, whatever the stupid thing is. But he definitely got a lot of that in the last 3 games of the season.
Now here's just a really quick transition, guys. The main position, and arguably the position that's going to be the difference maker of whether or not we're holding that elusive gold trophy that we haven't held up since 1988.
Long snapper.
Quick tangent. Yeah, long snapper. quick tangent. Should be the crystal football. The fact that it's not the crystal football is a fucking crime against humanity. But regardless, I think the great determiner of whether or not we're a national championship team is going to be quarterback play. We know we have the ponies in the backfield. We know we have a great offensive line. We're going to run the football, but when the times get tough and you need a 10, 15-yard pass, you need to move the sticks, you need a competent quarterback. That's what's going to ultimately be the difference maker between a national championship or not. We have 2 guys battling it out in camp. CJ Carr, he's the redshirt freshman from Michigan. He is the Michigan legacy, with Lloyd Carr, his grandfather, being a coach there throughout the 2000s. Then you have Kenny Minchey from Tennessee, and he's got his own sort of style and moves. He's a little bit more fluid and a little smoother. And a little bit more fleet of foot, but maybe doesn't have quite the arm talent that CJ Carr has. So 2 different dynamics. Both guys are running with the ones every other day. They're flip-flopping back and forth with camp. I think CJ Carr, I think we can all agree CJ Carr is probably favored to win the job, but it's not a guarantee. And if it is Kenny, then we're all in on Kenny as well. Like, whoever wins fucking wins, and they get our support. The question that I'm posing to you guys, because I think the good news is we have 2 legitimate contenders going in, battling it out right now. Is the starter on day 1 the starter as we head into the postseason, which hopefully and presumably would be a playoff run?
Tim, I'll
Unless
let you
there's
take
an
the
injury,
first
I'd
crack
say
at
so. But how long did we made it almost 30 minutes before I'm going to get booted off this podcast for what I'm about to say. So thanks everyone for listening to the esteemed Timothy Flynn. I would like to remind the audience and the hosts here that both Kenny Minchey and CJ Carr were recruited by Tommy Rees, and we have not had a good Tommy Rees quarterback ever. So take that with a grain of salt. I know that's just, just pure, could be nothing, could be something. But it's really, it's scary that we haven't named a starter yet. Like, 'cause I think everyone was expecting CJ Carr to like just show up and blow everyone out of the water. And the fact that he hasn't done that, because I don't know if he's
it's still early.
not blowing it out or if Kenny's blowing it out too. And I hope it's that, because if it's not, it could be a rough first few games watching the passing offense if we're not.
And that's what's tough about this, right? Is you have a really front-loaded schedule, so you don't have time for the quarterback to ease his way into being a quarterback. It has to happen right away. Steve, to answer your question, barring injury, I'll say the same. However, we have a bye week between Miami and A&M. And if the Miami game is hectic, and maybe we win 10-6 on the strength of Jeremiah Love,
just get the win.
We might reconsider who the quarterback is regardless. I don't know who's going to win this battle. I get the sense that everyone was expecting Carr, and Minchie might be doing a little better than people thought.
He's playing into consideration. He's made his move. He's making it a hard decision, which is all we could ask for from Kenny.
What's interesting is Carr in the spring game was phenomenal. He was throwing his touch on some of those balls were just ridiculous.
And I gotta say, in person, it was way prettier than it was on TV. So there's that.
So it is a little interesting that we're not hearing a lot of positive buzz, not necessarily negative buzz, but we're not hearing, man, X quarterback really lit it up today. Maybe it's early in camp because we're recording it as of August 10th, I think. So we still got 3 weeks, but definitely a point of concern, Steve. Do we agree as a group here that this team goes as far as the quarterback will take it?
No, I think we can go far and the quarterback be a supporting piece rather than a driving piece.
Okay. Do you think...
for this season, with the way that it's shaping out.
Right, so the quarterback just has to be good enough to get us through. But what if the quarterback's bad? Mm-hmm. Do you think we die by the quarterback?
You can definitely die by the quarterback. Mm-hmm. You could lose games to NIU with a quarterback that's not doing fantastic.
What's concerning is that...
I don't like that you did that. Don't do that.
What's concerning is that this is probably the best roster we've seen in our lifetimes at Notre Dame. Right? I think this is a better roster than last year. We
said the same thing last year too.
Well,
it's going to be better next year.
We keep getting better. But that's the thing is we're better everywhere except maybe tight end and maybe quarterback to be determined because quarterback could be better. I will be so annoyed if this team is as good as it is and we go 9-3 because we didn't figure out the quarterback position. I think it's a real possibility.
It'll be frustrating.
I don't think it's likely. Of course, pick us going 12-0 like I will every year. But it's possible that this season could be a little bit of a disappointment if we don't get that quarterback position right. So, Steve, are we not freaking out about it enough?
It's a very excellent question to be poised. I think for the roster that we have and for the schedule that we have, because when it comes to Miami, you have Carson Beck, who is not very fleet of foot, so he's going to be trapped in that pocket. They are not going to have as good of an offensive line, and every single Tim, you've done a ton of research and you could probably confirm this. I'm pretty sure that every single pass catcher from Miami from last year is not still on the team. Pretty sure it's all new pass catchers.
Well, their main guy's gone, right? Restapo.
Yeah.
So Tim, confirm that for me, please.
Well, I can't because I did Chat GPT to do my research in Miami because I'm lazy. So when you said Restrepo left, I have him as their best receiver. So give me a moment here.
That's fine. But from what I've
he got drafted. Yeah, he's not there no more, so we're good. Yeah, we got this, Dub.
See, AI is not going to replace you for a job. Everyone to stop freaking out if you're in the audience.
Unless you
thinking
use
that you're
AI,
gonna- True.
like I do.
Uh,
You get bad information and share it with the world.
so there's offensive line issues, and then there's going to be pass catching issues in Miami. So I think that's an inherently winnable game, and we can muck it up in the trenches. And I think we're going to be strong enough to come out of that game. Might not win it big. It's probably going to be tight and close, not to get way ahead of ourselves, because we will have a Miami specific podcast in a couple of weeks.
Steve, it better not be.
It better not be, but if it is, with a first-time starting quarterback, understandable. I'm not, and we'll talk about this more. Let's not harp too much on Miami right now. What I'm saying is that Miami is a winnable game given the factors. With Texas A&M, Marcel Reed, hell of a dual-threat quarterback, and mainly with his legs.
He runs a 4.40.
Yeah, if Marcel Reed throws against the Notre Dame defense, I wish you a very happy internship at Northwestern Mutual. That's good luck for you, pal. But if he runs the ball effectively, then it's going to be a tight game. But inherently, I think that there's not a game on the roster. There's not a team on the roster, and we'll go through game by game in this preview today of what everything looks like. But those are the top two teams that we're going to play. It's week 1 and week 3 with the bye in between. And then there's some tricky opponents throughout. The point that I'm trying to make at the quarterback position, with the defense that we have, again, I don't think we're giving up more than 20 points to any team all season long, just like last year. And with the offensive line and the ponies in the backfield that we have, all you need is an effective game manager in the regular season. I think if you have a game manager quarterback in the regular season, you are an 11-1 to 12-0 football team. My concern is when we get to January and February. Would it go on to February? I don't even fucking know. Doesn't matter. Regardless, no. I'm talking about the postseason. I'm talking about going deep into the postseason is the ultimate point that I'm trying to make, because we went to the national championship last year with a quarterback that throwing was not exactly his specialty, as Tim will let you know.
No,
so
you're right.
If we have a game manager at quarterback, we make the playoffs. But what is going to be are we going to have a guy that can grow in the role over those 12 games, that by the time playoffs come around, he can put a secondary on its heels and actually march the ball downfield and have this team compete for the semifinal, the quarterfinal, semifinal, and so on and so forth? So that's the question that I pose. That's kind of the framing that I want to go with. Is I think that we have the quarterback, whoever it may be, Kenny or CJ, to win at least 10 games with this particular roster and this schedule. But what are your guys' thoughts? Tim, let's start with you in regards to moving forward into those December and January games.
I think it's going to be fine once the season starts. After the season, if we get in the postseason, I won't be concerned about the quarterback spot anymore, because he'll have learned through those 12 games, hopefully, if his starter stays a starter and there's no injuries, to the point where I'll feel very comfortable. He'll be a veteran quarterback at that point going into the postseason. As long as we start off the season winning at least one of these first 2 games, every game is a tough game, because it's football and sports, but I'm not as concerned as the rest of the schedule as I'm about the first 2 games. And part of that is those teams are tougher, and part of that is, rookie quarterback. So, but once you get past that, you go into Miami Hard Rock Stadium, and we feel just like you did with Texas A&M last year. If you can handle that pressure, you're good. So I'm not too concerned for the postseason, just as long as we get there.
Dylan, let me ask you guys something. If you saw that Ohio State was opening the season at Hard Rock against Miami, would you think that would be a game cause for concern, or would you assume Ohio State would win that one?
I assume Ohio State wins by at least 17.
Right,
you never know.
Even with a first-time starting quarterback, right? Because Julian's saying is that if Ohio State was hosting A&M, would we think that would be a really important close game, or do we think Ohio State would kind of handle their business?
a step up in talent. So even if it were a close game, I could see that. But I would expect OSU to come out on top.
And would
But,
we worry?
I lost $100 on Ohio State losing to Michigan last year, so I don't know. Like they proven they can lose games. They proven they can win games.
Would we be concerned about them going to Arkansas? Probably not, right? Like, if we're being honest, I don't think I would even bat an eye at Ohio State playing Arkansas.
Yeah,
That's
plus
the standard
Ohio-
we have to hold ourselves to.
Well,
I don't
also,
wanna
Ohio State's
hear-
really used.
I don't want to hear, and Tim, you're right. But yeah, I don't want to hear it. That we have to win one of our first 2 games. We need to win every game on the schedule. If we are a national championship team, beat every fucking team on the schedule. I'm sick of this. I don't know. We gotta be better than what we've been.
I'd like to see us be the second team in football history to go 16-0. But I was going to say Ohio State, with playing Arkansas, they are used to playing noon games, so they would have the advantage there.
There you go. You know, I don't know. I think, Steve, am I crazy? I just think Ohio State has to be our comparison in everything we do. That's the level we're at.
Until we beat them.
Be.
Until we beat them, they're the benchmark.
Right? So, they're in a similar spot. They're returning a hell of a roster, but it's a new quarterback. And if they aren't concerned or wouldn't be concerned with Miami, should we? Maybe we just have that PTSD. Maybe we're not good enough. Maybe the quarterback isn't the answer. Or maybe we go in there and blow the shit out of Miami. That's what I want to see.
I think that's most likely.
Do you? Okay, let's talk about that.
Well, we're all Notre Dame fans, so we've all experienced
Guilty.
the last 35 years of Notre Dame football. So it's you can never just say, yeah, I feel very confident, because we've seen us be confident and have not so good.
Specifically going to Hard Rock against Miami. I do remember that.
Yeah. That was a bachelor party I was at for that one, and I was hammered for the rest of that night because I didn't want to remember or feel anything.
Yeah. Why does this fucking team of 18-year-olds to 20-year-olds give us PTSD this badly? It's terrible. But I mean, Dylan, it sounded like you pretty much want to start getting into schedule discussion. I think as we've discussed the roster, we've gone through position battles, especially the quarterback position, and seeing how far can they take us ultimately is the question. So, do you want to go in? Let's go game by game. We've already discussed, obviously, Miami and A&M a little bit surface level, but if you want to start going game by game and breaking things down, I'll give you the reins here.
I do want to do that because unless you guys have else to say, I just look at this roster. It's a great roster. Like, what is there really to talk about other than the starting quarterback? Right? Like, is this talented recruit going to beat out this talented recruit for this backup position? Like, we're loaded.
Much.
This is what Marcus Freeman has built here, and we should be damn proud of that. Let's just get into what's coming for us.
We forgot 2 roster spots, so we're going to talk about the punter and the kicker.
Ooh, P-Wagon would be pissed.
So
we
gotta
got
make sure we get
Brunette
this.
from North Carolina as a transfer. He'll be the kicker, I think. And I don't know who the punter is. Who was our punter last year? Was it the Aussie?
No.
You see, he must be back
Yeah,
still.
the Aussie, yeah.
He is, yes.
Also, Marcus Freeman was kicking punts at practice, so it's got to keep throwing that out there because it's
Does
cool.
he have any eligibility yet, or did he
burned it all.
fulfill his Fuck. Well, one
What's
can
funny
only
is Marcus
dream.
probably could be a starting linebacker anywhere in college football. He's still jacked. I'm going to be very excited with our punting game this year because he had that whole year last year to get used to it. Our kicking game, I'm never going to be confident in it until we get Dorr back or Yoon. Just give me a 4-year kicker.
Justin
Burn
Yoon was
scholarship
great
on the
within
kicker.
the 40-yard line, and I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
Give
That's all
me
you need.
Kyle Brinza outside of 40 and Justin Yoon inside of 40, and you have a
Yeah, there you
perfect
go.
kicker.
Do that.
But do not give me Kyle Brinza inside of 40 or Justin Yoon outside of 40. You would have the worst kicker.
Noah Burnett last year was 15 of 21. His longest was of 52. So he's in the 50s, which is good.
There's no point in even stressing out about kicker yet. Let's cross that bridge.
I'm
when we
always
get
stressed
there.
about the kicker. I'm a Bills fan, dude. I'm always stressed about the kicker. If you're not stressed about the kicker, what are you doing?
It's college football, man. Everybody's kicker sucks.
Listen,
that's
I
how
saw
it goes.
us go to Virginia Tech and kick a field goal with laser pointers in his freaking eyes. All right? That's what I want out of a kicker.
Okay.
Doing P-Wagon proud. Of course, kicking is super important. It's just like there's 5 good kickers in the country, and we'll find out who they are in a couple weeks, you know? Oh, man, I love college
You can't
football.
just kick it through the end zone and get a point.
Yeah. It's not
should
Canada.
you? Yeah, that'd be an interesting question. All right, let's talk about the schedule here, boys. We're heading to Miami Sunday, August 31st. Primetime game, no NFL to worry about. Catholics versus convicts at Miami. Whew. It's a big one.
It'll be fun. Unfortunately,
It's a
it's
big
a frickin' Sunday again. I hate Sunday games because they've never worked out for the rest of my life. Hopefully, this is the one.
Wasn't A&M last year a Sunday game?
No.
No, it was a Saturday night. It was.
All right,
it was
But I
the
thought
night
we
after my
beat Florida
cousin's
State on
wedding.
a Sunday.
Well, I'll go fuck myself.
Good.
Did we? I remember
oh.
Texas was the Sunday game.
It was.
Yeah.
Gross.
Mm.
You see Texas's stadium where they put a big uterus in the end zone? Where the
Did you see
fans
that
are?
Texas is back?
Have you seen this? That they put the longhorn like in the stands, like they made the shape of a longhorn, but it looks like a giant uterus.
Man.
I'm not crazy. Look this up. I'm not.
I have a baby, and I've still never seen a uterus to this
Oh my
day.
God,
so.
it does.
Right. Okay.
Oh my God, it does.
If you're listening at home, look this up. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right under the jumbotron. It looks like it's either a thong or a uterus. There's no in between.
Well, since it's Texas, I'm gonna assume it's a thick with 3 C's Latina. So I'm gonna go with the G-string. I'm gonna go with the thong. I'm not gonna focus on the uterus talk.
It's right behind the field goal post, so every time you see a kick, it's going to go straight down the hole.
That's how you
Speaking
fill
of
the
filling
hole.
holes. Yeah.
Man, I'm learning a lot. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's called The Birds and the Bees. We can go into it after the podcast. I'll tell you where babies come from and everything.
Well, I was just a fresh-faced young boy when we started this podcast.
Facts. And now I'm a 35-year-old dad. I was in my mid-20s, a yuppie. I was full of life. I had hope in life. I thought things were actually going to work out. What a fucking idiot I was. And now I'm just old with a kid, just trying to keep her alive from one day to the next. Life comes at you fast. And speaking about fast, in precisely 21 days, amigos, we are going to be at Hard Rock Stadium. Let's really hone in on Miami real quick.
I
and
forgot
then
we were
let's
doing a
move on.
podcast for a bit there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's hop back.
Speaking
let's
of
get
uteruses, we're going to go to Miami and play
With
those
those-
freaking...
those giant pussies.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Okay. But real quick, one thing I do want to say about Miami because it's relevant, and it's because and it's in regards to the roster composition that we've been talking about. I saw a clip of Greg Olson, should have been a Notre Dame guy. He was talking about that 2000-2001 Miami roster. That was a roster in which Willis McGahee was the backup fullback because Frank Gore and who was the other massive running back of that time? Oh God, can't remember. The point is that you had guys that were on special teams that ended up being NFL Hall of Famers because they were so deep.
Yeah.
And that is the essence of what is going to separate this Notre Dame Fighting Irish roster from being a solid team that makes it to the playoffs and goes on a short run but ultimately flames out, or are we going to return to glory? Does it feel like 88 or not? And I think that 2001 Miami team, with the depth that they had, is ultimately the benchmark that we can look to attain. But we are looking at 2025 Miami in exactly 3 weeks from today. Dylan, What do you think about that matchup?
Steve, do you know what the glory of the 80s and Miami in 2001 have in common?
Cocaine?
Cocaine, yes, thank you. I'm a little scared of Hard Rock Stadium, to be honest with you, after 2017. As long as it's not a hurricane, no pun intended, we should be fine. As long as Brandon Wimbush doesn't throw the football, we should be fine.
50 times, yeah.
Carson Beck is an experienced quarterback, and that is a big advantage Miami has in this game, other than home field advantage and finally a crowd that will show up and sell out the stadium. You're welcome, by the way. But they are still a transfer portal team. They're still a incomplete team, so to speak. Their defense was a nightmare last year for them. If they had just half a solid defense, they would have been in the college football playoff. They're losing the best quarterback in the country, Cam Ward. They're losing the most explosive offense in the country, at least weapons-wise. Maybe they'll be able to replace that. So Miami's got a lot to replace. There's definitely talent there, and I think this will be a close game. I'm worried about it a little bit just because of the venue, and it's like I think Shane Gillis joked about it. He's like, Miami usually they forget they suck for the first couple weeks, and that's a little scary.
Yeah,
because they'll fall apart by October, but it's not October.
You're making me more confident because I'm remembering Miami sucked last year. They got bailed out game after game after game with calls and stuff. So they should have lost to Cal. Everyone agreed with that, and then they lost to Georgia Tech and Syracuse. So yeah, I'm a little more confident now. So. Thanks for cheering me up.
Yeah. Steve, how do you feel about the Miami game?
I think that they, exactly as you surmised, that their defense was too Swiss cheese last year, that I don't foresee them making too much of a jump this year. And although Carson Beck is going to be scary, this isn't going to be Georgia Carson Beck. This is going to be Carson Beck with a whole new offense in the first game. In prime time, he's just not going to have the weapons. So, of course, I mean, we know me. I feel like Irish are going to come out on top. I do feel, though, that given the environment, given that this is the first game, given the quarterback, I think we're going to be able to run the ball well. I think we're going to score some points, but I don't foresee us winning this game by more than 10. So, excuse me, I've been drinking. Expect this to be closer than what you would think. I think if we played this game in October, Notre Dame wins by probably 17 to 21 points. But I think that given that this is early on in the season and Miami won't know that they suck yet, and other factors, I think this is actually going to be a nail biter. I think that. We probably are up by a touchdown and then kick a field goal within the last couple of minutes to go up by 10 and kind of solidify. Very similar to last year's A&M game.
So are we scoring a lot and giving up a lot, or are we not scoring a lot and not giving up a lot?
Not scoring a lot, probably.
The latter, yeah. I don't think we score more than 30, but I don't think we give up more than 21.
All right. Yeah, it's one of those games, I don't care how we get it, how sloppy it looks, just get the win and get out of there.
That has the makings of a 24-14 game.
What if we win by 35 and CJ Carr throws for 5 touchdowns?
I'm gonna need new pants, bro.
Yes. Yep, you stole that directly from my brain.
Is that super unrealistic?
No. It's definitely a higher goal.
I guess we'll have our answer on how the quarterbacks look if that's what happens.
There is a legitimate possibility that we blow the doors off them 42-10, in which case, as Tim said, it'll be.
If we do that, we're good for the rest of the season. That it won't be like A&M last year.
Time we said
that big win on the road.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
That won't happen again.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
We did it. We already did it. It already happened.
Don't say it.
It's in the past.
Stop saying it. Stop.
It sounded
There's
insane.
no way it could happen again.
Well, at least we're not playing a G5 team after Miami. We're just playing
there's
A&M.
No MAC teams on the schedule this year. We're good.
Why is our Achilles heel MAC teams? What is it about them?
Dude,
because
Big
it
Mac,
has
bro.
to be the most heartbreaking way imaginable. So it is going to be an SEC team up second, which is going to be September 13th after a bye week.
You skipped the week. You got to talk about the bye week. You got Shane Gillis going to Notre Dame.
Shane Gillis is going to be at Notre Dame, and Tim is going to be there. And Tim rented an Airbnb for several months in order to make sure that he can accommodate all of the Notre Dame activities with Shane Gillis. Absolutely the funniest comedian in the world right now. But September 13th, it is going to be Texas A&M coming to South Bend. When is Gillis coming to town, Shane? Sorry, I almost
September 6th.
September 6th. Okay, so that's perfect. That's how you know that Shane has an expert class booker and manager, because that was absolutely intentional, and I'm certain of it.
I think everything is going. All the funds are going to Notre Dame's NIL too. I think that's why he's doing it.
Did we bully him into that? Did the Horseman do that?
No,
well,
he mentioned it on a podcast.
Yeah, he was drunk on a podcast. He said, I said I'd give like $10 million to Notre Dame, and then they asked me for it. I was like, no. So he's doing this instead.
Shane, when you see this, because we know that you will somehow, some way.
Go on my tailgate.
Dude, we fucking love you. Just keep being you. Just keep being you, because you're at the top of your game right now, and we love you. Speaking about being at the top of their game,
who else do we have to glaze?
Should be, as they are 1-0 going back for their first home game of the year, Saturday, September 13th. The Aggies coming to town to finish up this home and home. Marcel Reed is the new quarterback for the Texas A&M Aggies. They lost a couple of guys to the draft last year, including Nick Scourton on the defensive end, and also one of the other defensive ends. Don't know his name. Don't actually care. We move on. Tim, Texas A&M, it is going to be an SEC roster, but a lot of the 2022 famed class that they had ultimately ended up transferring or flaming out in one capacity or another. So there's a lot of velocity going on with this particular team, with this roster. Elko is still the
Mike
coach.
Elko's the coach, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, Elko is a good coach. Great coach. So we expect that they're going to put their best foot forward. They're going to try to come in and shit in our Cheerios like we did to them just last year. So Tim, I'll start with you. What's your analysis on that game?
Oh, you're not going to like my first analysis because it's just going to happen. We might see a lot of maroon in the stands that game. Because
oil money
won, but so I've got a few extra tickets for that game, and I can't sell them. No one wants to pay the money for them, which means that the oil money is happy to pay the money for them and show up there. So right now, I think the cheapest ticket to get into the building is like $500. Where I sit, tickets are around $800, and they're not selling; they're just sitting there. So I feel like this could be, because they also, SEC teams love coming north. Like, they never get out of the South. So when they can, they do it. So I think we're going to see a lot of maroon. Plus, they're a cult. Let's not forget that. Like, A&M fans are a cult. They do their dances.
You better
they wear
not
their overalls.
sell to an A&M fan, Tim. This better be
I'm
just.
trying my best not to.
This better be just you
to.
trying to come on the podcast to sell your tickets. If you're listening to this,
yeah,
buy the tickets,
hit me up.
please.
Hit me up. But yeah, I'm doing my damnedest not to do that, because they're right next to me too. I don't want to be sitting next to the clapping and the hand signals like you're flagging down a plane to land on an aircraft carrier, whatever the hell they do. So I don't want that. All I want is us to fill the stadium with Irish fans and kick their ass. That being said, their dual threat quarterback is good. He's exactly what A&M needs at quarterback. It's going to be good for them. His stats last year, he had a 142 QB rating. He was 61% completions, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks, almost 2,000 yards passing. He was a good quarterback. Solid. Not Heisman winning, but solid. And then also, I have no actual logical basis for this, besides the fact that it took me forever to beat A&M on NCAA 26. Their defensive line in that game was stupid good, and I hope that's not the case. I think the game was cheating, but I have a fear of that now after playing them 27 times.
Do you think it's more likely we lose to Miami or Texas A&M?
A&M.
Yeah,
At
it's
home.
A&M.
So
Yeah,
here's
it's
the
tough to beat
thing.
a team twice.
I can see Marcel Reed low-key being a Lamar Jackson type. Now, he's absolutely unrefined as a passer. And he has a long way to go as a passer, but he's an incredible talent with his feet. And Drake Bowen is a elite, really, 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 really good linebacker.
Yeah, but you're not
Possibly
putting
an
Bowen on him.
All-American.
You're putting
Yeah,
seed on him.
I know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, or KVA.
Yeah.
So I get
Osbury.
it. Or Osbury. Like, again, we're stacked with talent, and even Devonta Smith can come in from the secondary and lay the lick on him. We don't have to go position by position.
Just keep him in the pocket.
He's just a guy that he can move around enough. The last thing I want to see is a Denard Robinson game.
Don't
Oh,
you
God.
dare speak that name around here.
Ugh.
Unless we're referring to what Tyler Buchner's potential could have been. Okay, you guys seem to disagree with the polls, though, because the initial preseason ranking has Miami 10 and Texas A&M, I think, 21st.
Oh, yeah, because that means jack shit.
You
Yeah,
guys-
and that's
You both
Miami
think
is
Texas
only
A&M's
ranked
better.
10. Miami's only ranked 10 because of Carson Beck. If it was anyone else other than Carson Beck, they're ranked like 22.
Yeah, they were a bubble
A&M
team
is
in
the
the
more
playoff,
complete
too.
roster.
Okay, but you're more worried about a team coming to Notre Dame for a primetime game. And I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm doing what sports journalism is here, which is to get to wedge you into a debate. Okay? You're saying you're more worried about Texas A&M coming up to Notre Dame, primetime Notre Dame Stadium, and beating us than going to Miami with the first-time starting quarterback against a team that's ranked higher with the quarterback with like 100 years experience in a stadium in which we get our asses beat every time except when we're playing Penn State. It seems to be the only team
Yes.
we could beat there.
As a side note, Penn State covered up raping children. But anyway,
I'm going to have to edit this afterwards.
No, the allegations are true.
I'm sorry. They've been in our mentions for 6
I'm
months. I
Yeah.
hate
I'm going
those
to do
fucking
legal research if
motherfuckers.
that's slander now, and I'm going to have
It's
to...
not slander. You got convicted. You're good.
Yeah, they got
and they got
convicted.
it's all facts now. It's not even allegedly. It's just facts. Also, James Franklin looks like the Temu version of Mr. Clean.
Fat.
He's the Temu version of Brian Kelly.
For sure.
Bald Brian
Um,
Kelly.
Yeah, can't win a big game to save his life, and can't recruit because we're gonna kick his ass on the recruiting show.
Yeah, you would have to edit this if I said James Franklin is the next Sandusky. Then you would have to edit it. But I'm not saying that.
Just so he's clear, he's not saying...
I'm not saying that. Yeah, I am more worried about that just because I think they're a better team. They play a tougher schedule than Miami, no doubt about it.
Definitely.
And so I think they'll be tougher. Plus, again, I think they're going to have a lot of A&M fans there. So
Do you think... How confident are you that we split those two games? At least split, if not win them both.
if we don't split them, there's a problem, like a very big problem.
Right.
So I'm very confident we'll split them.
If we
And-
don't split them, I will be splitting my own wig with a firearm. I'm not going to specify which.
All right. Jeez, this is dark. If we lose to Miami, how important is that A&M game?
It's everything. Well, it's
It's a
really not
playoff
because then
game.
you got. Yeah, it is a playoff game because here's the thing: you can't finish the season 10-2 and make the playoffs unless you lose the first 2 games of the season. Because then you have the rest of the season to make up for it, and we've seen that happen before.
I didn't even go 10-2 with this schedule.
Yeah, I think we can, but then the only quality win, looking ahead, would be Cal or Southern Cal. So
Yeah, or Boise if they're a playoff contention team.
Yeah, but
hopefully.
even still, they're a
Syracuse might be
G5
a-
team.
Sleeper. We should keep
Syracuse
going on the
is
schedule
sneaky.
so we can talk more about
yeah,
these
what are
other
you doing?
teams.
Why are you slowing us down, bro?
Yes, where'd
Talking
you
about
go, by
James
the way?
Franklin and Penn State. Come on.
Oh, I just pissed out my window because I didn't want to walk all the way down the hallway to my bathroom.
'Cause he didn't want to wake up his daughter. Just if you're listening, that's
poor guy walking down the street.
Maybe I'm
It's
giving you
got
too
it
much
rained
credit
down.
there, Steve. Maybe you just want to be a man and piss out your window.
No, you are correct. So, speaking of the next team, it's Saturday, September 20th that we are playing Purdue, which is funny
Purdue.
because I got married 4 years ago on Saturday, September 21st, and we played Purdue in that game the day of my wedding. And while I was up on the not on the altar because that would have been ridiculous, but at the groom's table, groom and the newlyweds table, whatever the fuck, when we were eating dinner, of course I was streaming the game live at my own wedding because this is an addiction. But we got Purdue in our third game of the season. It's week 4.
There's nothing really to talk about with Purdue.
We
They're
win by
horrible.
a million. Yeah, we win by a million.
They're going to be worse this year than they probably were last year, and that was the most points we had ever scored in a game, apparently. So,
Yeah, it was. At least like in the last 100 years, or 50 years or whatever. I think
we
it
might
was
have beat up on
67
high
to-
school back in 1890 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, the Unicycle Club of Chicago or something. So your wedding was 2021 against Purdue, Steve?
Yes. Yep.
That was when I was at that game, and it was the biggest hit I've ever seen in a football game. And you can see every TV angle. You won't see the angle that I had. I can play it in my head perfectly. When Hamilton absolutely murdered Bell. Like, I thought he was dead. Like, his head had hit that turf so hard crossing that middle. And the guy next to me was drinking a fifth of something that was disgusting, and he kissed me after that. That was gross.
Thank you for sharing. All right. I love it. So then we got maybe the trickiest game of the schedule, I think. We're going to Arkansas. On the one hand, think the Stars, it's at noon because I don't want to be in that environment
Speak
at
for
night.
yourself.
However,
Speak for yourself.
on the other hand, it's going to be probably scorching hot. How you feeling?
It'll be cooler at
How are we feeling about
It
it?
will be cooler at noon. So first off, no, I would rather have a night game because I'm going and I'm selfish. Notre Dame wants a noon game for sure because it's easier, but I'm selfish and I want the night game. Now I've got about 20 seconds of tailgating to do before we go into the stadium, so fun.
Fair, yeah. Steve, are you worried about it?
I am. This is the trap game on the schedule. This is the hidden grenade, so to speak. What I'm most afraid of is their quarterback. His name is Talon Green. Out of Texas, he's 6'6", about 230 pounds in that neighborhood. Started his career at Boise State and then ultimately ended up transferring to Arkansas. Last year threw for 3,100 yards and rushed for 600 yards with a combined 23 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. So he's not a great passer, but he's an effective passer because of his feet. He's a big body. This is a guy that reminds me of a Cam Newton. Am I expecting Arkansas to go 11-1 and win the SEC? No. Of course not. Am I expecting Arkansas to win 8 or 9 games and put up a damn good fight and be an effective SEC team with a pretty good roster? Yes. And that's what scares me. So people think Arkansas, they haven't been relevant since Darren McFadden back in, 2007, 2008? Yeah. But ultimately, I think this is a team that when we're on the road, this is going to I am more scared of this game than I am of Miami.
Also,
Wow.
they could be undefeated. Their only challenges are Ole Miss and Memphis before Notre Dame. So they could be undefeated going into that game, which would be hilarious if ESPN scheduled a noon game. The two top 10 teams playing each other undefeated, and they screwed it up like that. That'd just be funny. But, yeah, I liked it better at noon because it will be cooler at noon than it would be if we played a night game just because of the way it works there because that's right on the Ozarks, and the humidity there makes it hotter at night, like the first few hours of night than the noon. I don't know how it works. That's what I was told by my friend that lives there, so there's that too.
All right.
And
Science.
that's one more thing. You're going to hate me. He's an Arkansas fan, and I'm bringing him to that game. So
You're allowed to
Sad.
associate with other people, Tim. This is not a cult.
I thought it was.
I don't know. Well, that's yet to be determined.
All right. Well, home at Boise State after that. That's a tough run, boys. You got Miami, A&M, 2 bye weeks, Arkansas and then Boise. And then it gets weirder too because you got NC State and USC around the corner. I could see this part of the schedule being tough, like really tough. I could see injuries mounting. I can see close games kind of burning out some of the team, or we blow everyone out on the schedule. I don't know what to expect. So much is on the quarterback, but Boise at home I think is helpful. Boise doesn't have Travis, the Heisman winner. No, it's not even Travis. Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty, yeah.
Should have been the Heisman winner.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He didn't win it. Travis Hunter won.
Yeah,
it.
if Jeanty played defense, he would have won. If he had to play one snap on defense, he probably would have won.
Yeah. So what are you worried about Boise State? Are you excited for it? Any thoughts on Boise?
I got a bunch. See if you can go first. I hogged it so far.
No, it's
Unless you
all
want me to
good.
go first.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, without Genty, I'm sorry, Maxwell Madsen, whatever the fuck his name is the quarterback. Sorry, man. Just not afraid of you. If Genty was on this team, then I would say, okay, this is something that we have to keep our eye on. If this is a game that we don't win by at least 10, then once again, like I'm going to redact it myself.
All right. Tim, before I serve it up to you, it's interesting to note, right, the first 5 games of the year, ACC, SEC, Big Ten, SEC, Mountain Conference, or whatever they are
Mountain
in.
West.
So,
Yeah.
They're Big 12 now, aren't they? Or am I
No,
wrong?
Mountain West.
No, they
Okay.
did not get invited to the Big 12. They're going to the Pac-12, but I don't know if that's this year. It's a lot of styles, it's a lot of travel, it's a lot of preparation. And this is where Notre Dame, in our uniqueness of independence, there's hidden struggles that people don't think of, and I think that's one of them, right? When you're in the SEC or the Big Ten, a lot of stylistic similarities week to week to your opponents. This is a pretty absurd start to a season. So what are your thoughts on Boise State?
Well, first and foremost, I love Boise State as a program and a school. I think the Blue Field is the coolest damn thing ever. I love the potatoes in Idaho. I love the Statue of Liberty play that they used to beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. I love everything about Boise State except for October 4th, 2025. And I love how Notre Dame is, we always give our opponents too much, we're too nice to them. But this one I think is kind of cool, doing an homage to Boise State. So, because Boise State wears blue uniforms and wears the blue field, so we're going to be wearing green uniforms and playing on a green field, just like Boise State does, just color-coded. So I think that's very nice of Notre Dame to do. I do like that it's the green jersey game, because I think this could be a sleeper if we weren't paying attention. That game is going to be... That day is going to be crazy. I know probably about 100+ people that are going to that game and tailgating with me for that. If anyone wants to make that number higher, go ahead. At this point, I don't care. Just bring beer because I'm not going to have enough for 5,000 people. But they're also selling beer at the stadium now, which is cool. So Boise State, the thing about the Ashton Jeanty is he had to have a line block for him in order to make as much progress as he did. And they still have a lot of that line. So... it's not Ashton Jeanty, but I do think their running game will be strong. I don't know if it's good enough to beat us, but it will be strong. Which means that they could be ranked going into this game too. Who knows? I do think that we're going to win. I don't see how we can't, because there's too much going on that day, way too much hype around it, to where it's not going to be crowd's going to be up, players are going to be up, we're all going to be there, so it'll be good. And that's all I really got on that. Besides, I'm probably going to be hammered.
Well, after that, we play at home again, NC State. This isn't the NC State teams of previous years where they're 9-3. I don't think they're probably that good, but they're still NC State, and there's a bit of kind of expected quality with them, right? You expect them to be a pretty good defensive team up the middle, make it tough to run on. But we're at home. I think we should be good. Obviously, there's a big game the week after, and if it's okay with you guys, I'll just skip ahead to that, because it could be the last home game in the Notre Dame-USC rivalry, pending things that happen. Big game. USC should come into this pretty well ranked. They have 2 tough games before us. They have Illinois and they have Michigan, but they have Michigan at home. This could be a big one. This could be a really, really big one. And obviously, USC has not beat us at our home in a while. Are either of you concerned about that heading into 2025?
I'm more concerned about the NC State game because that's a sliver.
The game I just skipped over because it wasn't that important?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. That's a sleeper game.
NC State is
you know
going to
what?
be undefeated when they come into town.
And I know we
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to be 6-0.
Yeah, so they'll be ranked. I mean, it feels like every time we play NC State, we're ranked. And it's October 11th. When is daylight savings time? Is that before or after that? I don't know. But every time we play NC State, it feels like it always ends at night in Notre Dame Stadium, unless we're at NC State, which brings it back to, sorry to go back to the Miami game, but if there's a lightning delay, someone give Jeremiah Love a hot dog during that lightning delay. Speaking of NC State, homage to Estime. The Cal game, I think it's going to be an absolute ass whooping. I am not scared. So we're going to beat the ever living shit out of them. It's going to be like that game where why'd you go for 2 because I couldn't go for 3. It's going to be like that. I think it's Marcus Freeman is so pissed off about Bowden or Chad Bowden and all the other crap going on. And however, Southern Cal's making all about them being a bunch of pretentious frat boys, we're too good for Notre Dame now. We're in the Big Ten, as if the Pac-12 was any different. So, I don't get it. I think Cal's a bunch of pussies for the way they're handling this thing.
I like that you keep calling them Cal, by the way. That's amazing.
Cal, yeah, because that's what they get. That's what they get.
All right, Tim, do you think you've been to a lot of Notre Dame games? You and I were at the USC game last when we stormed the field. Do you think the environment for this game is going to be even better?
It's
going to
be
more hostile,
way better, way more.
Because it was
hostile.
pretty amazing for that game too.
We hated Caleb Williams because we only hated Caleb Williams. Now we hate that was the main focus was hating Caleb Williams.
Do you not recall me screaming at the band to stop playing that one goddamn song the entire game? Steve, I was cursing at the band.
Not only did they not stop playing it, when we stormed the field, they kept playing it for 30 minutes after the game was over. They stayed up in the stands and were playing it as we were being escorted out of the stadium. They heard you say that and they said, F you, Dylan, we're going to keep playing this damn song.
The wine and cheese Notre Dame fans do not like me because I swear and I get angry.
We were also, I don't know if you told Steve this, but I'm telling the world now. Me and Dylan were pretty drunk before that thing. I actually went back and I watched the pregame, on the field, the band's out there in the field, they have the fireworks, national anthem, all that stuff. I watched it on YouTube and I was like, oh yeah, we did see that. So we were pretty drunk going into that game, and me and Dylan were slapping each other's chests like Ric Flair, going back and forth on Woo for about a good minute.
We were doing wrestling chops. We were getting hyped.
Yeah, that was a fun day, and it's gonna be an absolute this time.
Yeah, I got lost for a couple hours there.
Timmy boy, what's that pour you got going on there?
It's Chianti, and actually the Play Like a Champion cup that I got when me and Dylan went and saw, was it Marcus Freeman talk?
That's right. We saw that. We had a great.
Somehow this cup's still alive.
We had a great trip. I got so drunk in the tailgate, Steve. I just disappeared and was hanging out with USC fans for a bit. I went up to every USC tent just to welcome them and say hello.
Well, Dylan, you shouldn't have done that.
I'm Canadian. I'm polite.
You don't have to be, but regardless,
I don't have to be Canadian.
Tim, you're drinking Chianti, which is a sweet wine, which is typically paired with dessert. And what is going to be sweeter and what is going to be a more delicious dessert than the tears of those USC absolute fucking pussies when we beat them 65-0? We're going to destroy those absolute losers. They're not strong in the trenches. I don't give a fuck about Zachariah Branch or Paiava. I don't give a fuck. Fuck him and the horse he rode in on. Fuck that program. Fuck that state. Fuck that city. Fuck everything about USC, you dog shit piece of shit. Your coach is an asshole motherfucker. You can't respect tradition. You can't do anything by the book. You can't just fucking keep together what we've built and fucking fought for with our blood and our sweat and our tears for 100 fucking years, and you're so selfish that all you can focus on is stupid fucking money and TV deals and a ninth fucking game. No, this is when I'm a small government guy. I'm a small government guy. I don't like the fucking government, but whoever is the motherfucker that presents his platform for the next president of the United States that says 8 fucking conference games and then 4 non-conference games, and then says we need to get rid of this stupid bifurcation of fucking conferences and gets rid of the super conferences with the SEC and the Big Ten, you get my vote. You could even be a communist. I don't give a fuck, because I'm sick of these fucking programs chasing the dollar for some fucking bullshit, throwing away tradition and everything that we keep holy about this sport. USC Trojans, I want you to look me in the fucking eyes when I say this. I hate you so fucking much for what you are doing to this program and to this rivalry that I hope I am not going to finish that sentence as to not incriminate myself in a court of law, but know that what I hope is fucking horrific, because fuck you, USC. On to Boston College.
Wait, can we go a 30-second just to cap the 8? Because I'm absolutely with you. You should not play more than 8 conference games. But then I see Indiana. And I'm like, maybe you should. So I think there's definitely a balance that's got to be found in this world, and I don't know if we're ever going to get it. So
Big government Steve. That brings up something I want to do with you guys. Steve, you had mentioned earlier a crime against humanity that somebody had done. And I was thinking of a new segment for this episode where we think of crimes against humanity that have happened in college football that we can just complain about. But we should finish this schedule thing first, because I'm done. I'm done. Boston College? Are we joking?
First you got to fear they're the only band in the country with an electric bass in it. So
that's awesome. You know
it's the only thing they got.
You know what's not awesome? Being a player for the Boston College Screaming Eagles, which I don't even think they're called that anymore, which makes them so not cool. Why would you get rid of Screaming Eagles?
I didn't know they changed their name.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
They're the Eagles now.
Wow, I missed that. I don't know. When did that happen?
I don't know. Do you think I pay attention to Boston College?
If I'm going to take a wild guess, it was a venture capital firm that fucking bought them up and just dropped everything to make it slim.
Probably.
Because we don't...
Steve, stop being such a socialist on the show.
Wait, I know what happened. Who was the former... name slipped in my mind. Former Notre Dame quarterback that went to Boston College. What's his name?
Phil
Jurkovec, yes. Yeah. Who was too afraid to play Notre Dame when he came back for that senior game.
Culturally appropriated shipping up to Boston, even though the Dropkick Murphys played our fight song on one of their albums. Anyway, fuck Boston College. They don't matter. Then we're home to Navy. That's also... We don't need to talk about that, do we? It's a late season.
Yes, we do. Why the fuck is that a night game?
Oh, that's a great point. And it's because I think NBC's so sick of the Big Ten's garbage that they're proposing every week, because it's a lottery. Like it's like a draft. The networks for their Big Ten deal, who gets what games determined by that. So Fox gets the first choice every week, obviously, which is why Ohio State's at noon every week.
Which is ridiculous.
But they're not getting a good slate of games because they didn't know this, NBC, but Michigan and Ohio State and possibly Penn State have like agreements to not play night games in November. They don't want to play primetime games. Well, the NBC time slot for the Big Ten media rights deal is the night game, and they're not getting access to any of those programs in November. So I think they're just pissed and said, you know what, we'll give Notre Dame a third home game, or a third home primetime game. Just my 2 cents.
I think you heard me, but I'm gonna say it again. Why the fuck is this a night game?
Yep,
it's fucking Navy, man.
It's Navy.
I've been to a few Notre Dame Navy games, and I can't tell you if you go, everyone should go once, just once. I don't recommend going twice or 3 times like I.
You like the troops, but not that much.
It's so boring, man. It's the most boring game ever. Because even I was at the one when we had Drew Pine, and we were playing them in Baltimore's Raven Stadium there, and we went up like 31 to like 10 or something, and then we won like 34 to like 28 or something. Like, I was like, this is just awful. Like, even when it's a close game, it's still awful. When you blow them out, it's just a blowout. Honestly, my solution to Navy is we should just play them the last senior day every year. We should just
Tim hates the troops, confirmed.
I don't hate the troops. My dad was in the Navy. I was a seaman. Damn it. When my dad was in the Navy, I was in his balls. I was a seaman. So,
Is that how you fill the holes?
yes. And unfortunately, that doesn't get me the veteran discount, which sucks. But I think that if we honestly, because I was out there, I think Notre Dame should play Navy on Senior Day, because then you could put in all the seniors that don't play, and just have them get their knees blown out by the Navy guys that chop
I have an
block.
alternative proposal. We should play the Mexican Navy every now and then.
They have a Navy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does Mexico have a Navy?
We could play the Canadian Navy. I'm sure.
Yes, they do. They do have a Navy. Remember that ship, the sailboat, coming out of New York City Harbor that ran to the bridge and people died?
Oh,
That's their Navy.
Was that a Navy or was that just a passenger ship?
That was the Mexican Navy. And the Feliz Navidad, whatever the hell that boat was called, coming out of New York City Harbor. Like, with all of them holding hands on the masts, and they're like, oh shit, and they just hit it and fell into the water and shit. People died on that thing. That's the Mexican Navy.
I'm going to Google if we have a Mexican Navy on this planet.
That's exactly why we called it the Gulf of America. We know we're not going to have to do any naval battles.
There's no bridges there.
There's no naval battles that we have to fight in order to take that sovereign territory. Speaking of sovereign territory, we are going into Western Pennsylvania on November 15th, the cradle of quarterbacks, where some of the greatest football players and coaches have ever come from, where normally when they have a good QB that's the number 7 and 6'6" and actually throwing touchdowns, they did have a couple of Super Bowls. I was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Phil Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
I think this is a trap game. Call me crazy.
It's not. It's not. You know why?
In November, have you
It's
watched Notre Dame football?
It's Narduzzi.
I remember 2013. I will never not remember 2013.
I'm telling you what, there's gonna be more Notre Dame fans at this game than Pitt fans by a lot.
Stephon Tuitt
I'm going to that game. My entire family.
And kicked out of the game.
That was 2013.
It was, and I haven't gotten over it.
Which, disgustingly enough, is 12 years ago. And in the last 12 years, Pittsburgh has accomplished
nothing.
Absolutely fucking nothing.
They won the ACC.
They did. They did do that.
Everyone forgets.
Yeah.
Pitt isn't totally horrible.
Good for them.
Good for them. It was Clemson, Florida State, and Pitt are the only three who've won an ACC title. I mean, we technically won a regular season ACC title, but okay, Pitt, whatever. Syracuse should be better this year, but
can I
it's at
say
home.
one thing about Pitt though?
No.
Because it's an acupuncture stadium, and I just knew that was gonna make Steve smile. That's all I wanted to say.
You said, speaking of, just a moment ago, you said that Pitt had won a conference championship along with Florida State and Clemson in the 20 teens. Speaking of a team that potentially is going to have a chance at competing for an ACC championship this year, this is a bold prediction.
Wake Forest.
I could see it.
The following week, we are playing at home, Senior Day. Steve Angeli coming back to Notre Dame. It's a 3:30 game.
He better get a standing ovation, by the way.
He better get a standing ovation at that time. But listen, here's the Syracuse schedule. All right, versus Tennessee at home.
It's rough.
Tennessee has a new quarterback because of all that fuckery that went on. There's a really good chance that they win that game.
I think they win that game outright.
Yeah,
that would be insane.
Then they have
that would be insane.
Then they have UConn and Colgate. There's they're going to be 3-0 on the road at Clemson. Yeah, on the road at Clemson they probably lose, but then they got Duke, SMU, Pitt, Georgia Tech, North Carolina. And then the week prior to us, they are at Miami. But
they're going to be 3 wins by the time they get to us.
Dude, there's a good chance they only have 1, maybe 2 losses by the time they come into this game. They could.
There's a chance they only have 1, maybe 2 wins too.
Also true, but I think higher of Steve Angeli.
There's also 23 other people that got to play football, though.
That is also true. But
I like
mean,
Georgia Tech.
Listen, Kyle McCord had a decent year for Syracuse last year. Syracuse was solid. They weren't like
a lot of
great.
those returners are gone, though.
I'm just saying I expect us to beat Cuse, of course, obviously, but it's a game that we shouldn't sleep on specifically because of the quarterback position. I think Angeli is honestly a top 20 quarterback in America. I just think that I really do. I think Angeli was really, really good. I just think
The
that
entire
ultimately,
country. You're telling me we had 3 quarterbacks that are top 20 entire country?
yes.
Yeah, I know Steve's a good quarterback.
I'm
'cause I've seen
begging
it.
for a top 50 quarterback on this football team.
Yeah, if we had a top 50 last year, there's a chance we win the.
Okay, let me ask you something.
That's mean.
Syracuse or Pitt, which game are you more worried about?
Oh, Syracuse.
Dude, PTSD in me is saying screaming Syracuse because it's senior day. I was at that last senior day when Syracuse came here and we lost with Charlie Weiss throwing 17 tight end screens.
I'm gonna put. Let's put a bet on this. That the Pitt Notre Dame scoreline will be closer than the Notre Dame Syracuse scoreline. That's where my money's
I will
at.
take that action all day because we're gonna beat the shit out of Pitt.
We're gonna win.
Probably do the
We're
same thing
gonna
to Syracuse,
win
but we'll be nice about it.
6-3 in Pittsburgh. It's going to be the worst game of our lives.
It's gonna be 3-2 then. I'm gonna challenge you on that.
All right, we finish off at Stanford. There's
Well,
literally nothing to talk about
One more
there.
thing on Cuse. There's
Oh
one more
my
thing
God.
about Cuse.
How much do we have to talk about Syracuse?
Because they're playing Colgate, right? And so I have a question. Like, if you brush your teeth with Colgate, do you choose a different toothpaste that morning before you play them? Like, use
Yeah, you got to go with Crest.
Yeah,
Crest or
100%.
something.
Yeah.
I wonder what toothpaste Steve Angeli uses. If anyone's got his number, ask him.
We're still trying to find out when CJ Carr was born, so
Yeah,
he
didn't I
was
say
born-
1995? That's way off.
yeah,
Like
dude,
to a hilarious
he'd be 30.
degree.
So he was born in the 2000s.
Yes.
2000, probably 4. I'm just doing math. Just doing math.
Steve, why Syracuse?
Honestly, it's just Angeli. No, I'm serious. I'm an Angeli respecter.
Do you think he's
to the
going to win the
point where-
Heisman this year?
No, I don't think he's gonna win the Heisman. But
Could you imagine? Oh my God! Notre Dame universe would melt. It would fucking melt. Oh my God! And I would be so vindicated.
I'm
would be
kind of
so
hoping it happens
vindicated.
now.
I am too now.
I'm just saying I could see Steve Angeli leading this team to be 9-3, if not arguably 10-2, and there's a really good opportunity that they are ranked within the top 15 by the time they're coming into town. Now, there's also a chance that they go 7-5, right? Like there's don't get me wrong, it's Syracuse. We're not going to pretend that there's some some vaunted defense and like just this absolute superstar roster. I'm just saying the quarterback position does matter. This is a guy that now has 4 years of experience at the college football level. He's a redshirted junior. He's seen plenty of football. He had a hell of a drive against Penn State when his number was called. I am a Steve Angeli respecter through and through, and I expect him to have Syracuse fighting for every single game. They were solid last year with Kyle McCord, and if you were asking me to pick between Kyle McCord and Steve Angeli, I am obviously biased because of Notre Dame here, but I am picking Steve Angeli.
Kyle McCord was a starting quarterback at Ohio State for a whole year before he went to Syracuse.
Counterpoint, he was also
Steve
a bitch.
Angeli was a starting quarterback for an entire Sun Bowl, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
He did
Facts.
help us in that Penn State game. Look, I love Steve Angeli. Let me ask you something. Notre Dame goes 11-1 with a loss to Syracuse led by Heisman winner Steve Angeli. How do we feel about this season?
I'm going back to my melting down then Notre Dame universe is happening.
I think I almost
but
prefer that to 12-0, to be honest.
If those are the specific circumstances, then what I need to do immediately is go to a DraftKings and throw on like all of those future bets Because if that were to happen, you'd be a very wealthy person.
Oh yeah,
You sure
parlay
would.
12 Notre Dame games where they win all except Syracuse. I imagine the odds on that would be fun.
They probably wouldn't even take your money. Like, we feel bad for you for making this stupid bet. You can keep your money. We'll just give you it for free.
Yeah, you guys should consider a podcast instead. Stanford.
Ha!
Okay, I'm glad. Nothing I want more than Stanford to be back, but they're not there yet. They're building it. I like where their coach is at. I like that their NIL seems to be starting to get involved a little bit. They got some good players.
What, are they going to be sponsored by a fucking AI tech startup?
Hey, you laugh, but as soon as that AI tech startup and the rest of Silicon Valley funds the Stanford football team, you think Oregon was propped up by Nike. Boy, Stanford's got a lot of resources they could tap into if they ever decided to play football on
They
a
really
serious
do.
level. Okay, so that's the schedule. Let's run through it quickly because it only took us 3 hours to get through that.
It's in Stanford, right? It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
At
sucks.
Miami, bye week, home to Texas A&M, home to Purdue, at Arkansas, home to Boise State, home to NC State, home to USC, bye week, at Boston College, home to Navy in a primetime game on NBC, at Pittsburgh, home to Syracuse, at Stanford. Rate that schedule.
That's the schedule.
B plus.
Solid. Yeah, I was about to say a solid B
Hey,
plus.
don't forget,
And
you forgot the blue and gold game.
they should be 12-0. I mean, the fact of the matter is,
We'll be favored
we're
in every
set
game.
up. We're favored in every game. We've highlighted that with Miami and Texas A&M, the two scariest games on the roster. There's certainly cause for optimism because I think there's some shortcomings with both of those rosters for both of those pretty major programs. Would I be surprised if we drop one along the way to an Arkansas, to a Syracuse, to an NC State, to a USC? I would not be surprised. Of course, I would be angry because we should be 12-0. But if we end up 11-1 with dropping one,
Well, that's the danger,
I'm not-
Steve. If we lose
Yeah.
one of those two early games, let's say we split them, you can't drop, really. I suppose you could sneak into the playoffs 10-2, so you could.
You can't lose a game after. If you can lose the first two games and make the playoffs. You could split the first two games and win the rest to make the playoffs. If you split the first two games and you drop another one later on in the season, it's going to be tough to climb back. that late in
10-2,
the season.
it depends how the schedule plays out, but
It's just the
you're-
way they rank things, dude. They're all a bunch of squirrels.
the thing I'm getting at, Steve, is like if you do split those first two games, that's a thin margin because those are all games we could drop one in. To your point, you know, you got to be
Especially with
good. You've got to be good
Yeah,
every week this year.
well, it's especially going to be tough when you have a Heisman-winning quarterback, Steve Angeli, coming in. So
Yes, and that's going to be after the grueling, brutal, potentially loss-worthy game against Pitt. So,
we're not losing that game. I will go on the field and I'll play I'll put the pads on, bro. We're not losing that game. I'm going to be there.
are you going to help Notre Dame or hurt Notre Dame?
Well, I would have helped them last time when we played Ohio State at home if I was on that field. I'm just saying. I could have made that stop.
You
if
could
I
have
was
been the
11th
12th.
man out there.
You could have been the 12th man.
I
Yeah.
could, not the 11th man. I could have been the 11th man.
Oh, right. I forgot we're not playing Canadian football.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve, in the CFL, there's an extra man on the field.
The rules get better and better every time you say to another one out
you
there.
know what? We need to get the tariffs up to 150% because of that. I think that the long and short of this podcast, if we were to sum it up, Notre Dame's roster is extremely deep. But is it going to be deep at the positions that matter? Is it going to be deep on the offensive line and the defensive line in the trenches? I think elsewhere we can have a little bit more flexibility. And then, of course, with the quarterback position, what is to come? Who's going to be the starter? Is that starter going to stay healthy all season? Are they going to be a game manager, or by the time that game 12 rolls around, are they going to be finding their groove and making moves where they can push the ball downfield, be a dangerous passing game, and have us competing for a college football playoff? The schedule as it stands, we have it, as Dylan, as you had said at the beginning of the podcast, it's front loaded. We have a lot of talent that we're going to be facing on the front end, but with that said, of course, we should be winning those games. Those are games we should be walking away with. We should be holding ourselves to a higher standard. Marcus Freeman has dropped some games over the course of his short head coaching career where he was favored big time. So developing a killer instinct, is that something that this roster has in front of it? Is that something that the quarterback position is going to have, where it's, we're not fucking around, we're not overthrowing receivers, we're burying teams, and we're not leaving anything to doubt? All of these questions are going to be answered over the course of the next 16 weeks, approximately. I think there's a lot to look forward to. Irish eyes are going to keep smiling all year long because I think we have great things in store for us. Tim, to wrap up this podcast, we have several weeks before the start of the season, but we are just about there. The air is cooling, the wind is blowing in, fall is almost here, and it is almost time for football.
That air is not cooling. I don't know what you're smoking. It's still hot as balls outside.
Are you reading off ChatGPT? What is this, Steve?
No, that's straight from my brain,
He's
which
just a
is
poet.
entirely demented brain, which should be studied for science because of how fucked up I am. Tim, let us know your thoughts and as we see ourselves out here.
Yeah, I guess it's a question of are we past the bullshit? Because Marcus Freeman has lost to Marshall, he's lost to NIU. So are we past the bullshit is basically the question. If we are, we're in great shape. Because I don't know, until he proves we're not going to drop a random game along the schedule that we should win, I don't know. I mean, the numbers and the history shows we will, and I hope we don't. And if we don't, then we're great. We're in great shape. And then it brings us to continuing the schedule. Who do we play first as a home playoff game come Christmas time? And I would nut if it's LSU. Just throwing that out there into the universe, or Michigan. Give me something juicy.
I was playing Road to Glory in my 25 CFP game, and I got Michigan in the first round at home. So
I did too.
It was nice.
I swear to God, I did too. Yeah. And then I got NC State in the national championship game 3 years in a row. So I don't know what that's about.
That's weird. All right, gun to your head. What's the record at the end of the year? The regular season.
11-1-1.
11-1-1. What does that mean?
Math, baby.
It's a tie.
Oh, okay. It's a blue and gold game. I can see. So 10-1-1 because we only play 12.
That's true.
That's all right. Keep drinking.
Yeah.
Steve.
You know what I was doing there? I was quoting Tim O'Malley. He said that on the podcast once, and it was the hardest I ever laughed because Tim Priester said, "You can't do any better than going 11-2 or 11-2," and Tim O'Malley said 11-1-1, and I laughed very hard at that. So homage to him.
Steven?
Obviously, everything in my body is pointing towards just saying 12-0 because that's everything I'm conditioned to. This year, I am going to be a little bit more on the skeptical side. I'm going with 11-1, but this is a college football team. This is a college football playoff caliber team, and furthermore, I think this is a team that can compete for a national championship come late January. But it's all going to depend on the quarterback position, which we're going to see play out over the next couple of weeks. In the next couple of weeks, I personally am going to be hopping on a podcast with Danny Boy Kane to preview the Miami game. Of course, we're going to have our own Miami preview here just as a programming note. And yeah, we're going to discuss how we're going to go into South Beach and kick the shit out of the Convicts. So yeah, I'm gonna cautiously optimistic. I'm going with 11-1. This is a playoff team, and Dylan, I'll kick it to you.
Heretical.
Give us your prediction.
Heretical bullshit. That's what this is.
And
you guys
then
are a bunch of slack-jawed, absolute weak-minded
I have PTSD,
pansies.
brother.
What is this? Is this not the propaganda podcast? What are we doing picking 11-1?
Ruined my mental health.
I said 11-1-1, so we're winning.
If
we're winning
you
2
say
games in the regular
11-1,
season.
they're not going to go 12-0. They're not going to reward you for being faithless. Come on.
We're going 13-0 in the regular season.
Exactly. We'll count the blue and gold game. 12-0. What? We're gonna go 12-0. I'm sure of it. I'm sure this won't be a disaster.
You are Canadian.
I'm sure it won't be like the year after 2012, or the year after 2018, or the year after 2020. Any playoff run, we had a great year the following year. Definitely.
2016.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun season, guys.
I am so excited for the season to start. I'm in full mode. Like, we're getting ready for the like, we're in fall camp, and for the last 2 weeks I've not been drinking. I've been working out every day, and then my sciatica started flaring up, and I was like, fuck it, I'm drinking. So I was getting in shape with the boys. Like, I was hyped. Now I'm drunk, but I was hyped, and I'm still hyped for the season. Like, I'm gonna have so much fun this year. I'm gonna have so much fun. I hope everyone else does too.
Timmy, you're gonna be our man on the street. We're gonna have to get you like some sort of
Get him a TikTok
microphone
account
set up. Yeah, exactly. You're
I don't do
gonna
the
have
tiki-taki.
every time you go to Notre Dame Stadium this year for tailgates, we're gonna have to have you trolling opposing fans.
I do that. I do that
yeah.
regardless.
But on camera, bro. Think about it.
Could do
Content. I have been poor for 35 years of my life. We have 10,000 followers on Twitter. We need to start making money off this fucking thing, bro.
We make money.
We
All
need
right.
more money because
I gotta-
We funded your new home in South Carolina.
I got an idea.
I
for
want a
the
second
first
home.
video.
What?
First video, we take an A&M fan, because they're a cult, right? And we set them on fire, and they jump through a table, Bill's Mafia style. Human sacrifice to the table gods. I think that will get at least one view.
At least one. Correct. Yes.
At least one.
Love it. All right.
I thought this would be an hour. I'm shocked it took us this
You
long.
brought me on. You know you're in trouble as soon as you invited me.
It's the season preview, boys. We still have plenty to go. We still have so much football to watch. So just enjoy it. Enjoy every second of it. Enjoy the last days of summer. We're in the dog days.
Stop talking about summer ending, Steve. You're giving me anxiety. You're stressing me out. Man.
I don't.
We're
mind it
in
ending.
the dog days of summer. Honestly, I'm a big summer guy, but now since I've moved to South Carolina, I kind of like the fall more.
Do you know what not
Sneaky.
summer is like in Canada? We don't need to stress me out.
You ever seen Game of Thrones? They're north. They're the northern people, north
Yeah.
of the wall.
Actually,
Yeah,
fall
fuck
is
that.
very
The
beautiful
wildlings.
here, but fall means winter's coming. You know, like not to do the bit with the show, but you know,
But fall means football, and more importantly, means Notre Dame football. And
can
Notre
smell
Dame's
it, Eric,
going
when you get that
16-0.
smell.
We're winning it all, of course, obviously, like we are every single year until it doesn't happen. But this year it is because it feels like 88 and every other nostrum that we can throw in the meantime. I'm going to see myself out and just say, go Irish. Can't wait for everything. Tim, Dylan, closing thoughts, and then we're done.
At Horseman Pod, Twitter, Instagram, wherever else we are. Follow us. Rate, review, 5 stars, all that fun stuff. Tim?
15-1-1.
Love it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. This was a fun one. And we'll see you
Irish.
in a couple weeks for Miami. Go Irish.